If time was needed for distance, with absence has made the heart grow fonder. The marvel of music, socially engineered on purpose, so there would be no comparison, no thoughts to ponder. The world is riddled with riddles. Billions of people trying to figure out life. It's pitiful. Enter our world. This podcast, this journey, the second phase of an analogy. This is a prelude for the story of Season 4. The DONESON Podcast. You better tell somebody.
Donesonians, the freedom of creativity has arrived. Let's take this journey from the US to Brazil, through India onto Europe, from Asia onto the transatlantic and throughout the world. We'll call it the dark side. The DONESON podcast is in full effect. Watch it, feel it, listen to Shaana Montana, Uncle Rico, Rod, and Rollo. Let's put it where the goats can get
This is how I feel. Only God knows where this is going. We are on the heels of something so important. This podcast has many seasons, but it won't be the last. I'm listening to the DONESON podcast. I said, I'm listening to the DONESON podcast. Oh, yeah.
It's official.
What's that?
Since we've been laughing at Jerry's jokes, he will be on the show next season. Season 5, baby. June.
Okay,
10th.
I'm looking forward to
Juneteenth, 2023, Monday.
Okay.
In case y'all don't know what Juneteenth is, it's June the 19th. Season 5, baby. Look for us.
All right.
Now, I told him, don't overdo it, Jerry, or press your luck. But he keeps writing, here's another one.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So Jerry said, tell me to say this. He says, make sure you deliver it, Rod. I will. Why did the bicycle fall over? And
Couldn't stand. He had no stand.
Close, but why did the bicycle fall over? Because it was too tired. Uh-oh. All right, so don't forget to tune in every Monday for the audio version of the DONESON podcast and every Wednesday on our YouTube channel titled the DONESON podcast. Mm-hmm. Now, do not forget to tune in to our Christmas show, December the 25th. It's going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. All right. It's time for Rent Due in the City. Uh-oh.
Rent due in the city. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but today. Rent is due. And if you don't have my money, I'm going to send a Negro named Corn to come get in your shit.
Mr. Edwin Evick, our voicemail system is down right now, so I'll be reading the message from the tenants. Moss Point, Mississippi. Mr. Evick, apartment number 400. I had an argument with my boyfriend last week. He is holding out for the right job and refuses to get a job until the right one comes along. I'm gonna be late next month on the rent. Sorry.
Madam, your picker is off. The reason that some of you are in bad relationships is because of what you tolerate. He probably doesn't have a job because he was half-assing that too. Sorry, you need to get his sorry ass up out of there.
There you go.
Portsmouth, Virginia. Mr. Evick, apartment 221. I ordered food and somebody, maybe a neighbor, is stealing my food when I order through DoorDash and sometimes Uber Eats. Is it some way you can put a memo out to the whole complex telling people to stop stealing food?
Well, apartment number 221, the wings would be fire if you replace the ranch with the blue cheese. And please order hot sauce for them Cajun fries. Then it would be on point.
Easy.
Oh, yes, I'll get right on that. Memo it is.
Dayton, Ohio. Edwin, apartment number 114. I live on the first floor, and when I walk out, there's always dog shit at the bottom of the steps and the grass, and when it rains, it smells like straight ass. Please make available dog poop bags.
What the hell?
Apartment number 114, I don't know what to say. I mean, this situation sounds a bit much to stomach. The mere mention of straight ass. Just the thought I'm going to have that taste in my mouth for weeks. But I'll get on it.
All right, it's time for the Doneson Riddle Show.
It's the Doneson Riddle Show. You have 60 seconds to solve the riddle, which is an ample amount of time. If you answer wrong, a dummy is getting electrocuted. And here's your host, Rod.
All right, so we only have about a few shows left before the end of the season, right? Mm-hmm. And we've pretty much gotten every Doneson riddle there is. So we want to make sure we don't break the streak, because this could be a record. And for the sake of Rollo, right?
Damn, Rollo.
So I'm just going to give you an easy one so nobody gets electrocuted. Mm-hmm. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
This is the riddle. What is 2 plus 2?
2.
I'm going with what Unc said.
What?
Since me and know everything these days.
Wait. Maybe y'all didn't hear me.
Yeah.
For the sake of Rollo, what is 2 plus 2?
You talking about this guy right here?
Yes.
2.
Sorry, Rollo.
Oh no, Uncle Rico, you dirty.
Yeah, that me.
I told you I'm gonna get you. I got you.
Shaana Montana, let's get it.
Let's get it.
Montana, here they go again. Another letter? This is what they wrote. A little oh yeah, a little oh no, and a lot. You gotta be kidding me. Montana is a crazy. Even though I'm feeling sad, it's only one day. I turn into you, it makes my day. I'm watching you YouTube on a Wednesday, listening this letter so funny. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
All righty. So today's letter is titled Working Together. And so this writer is from Memphis, Tennessee. And we have another millennial. That seems to be a trend these days with the millennials. And the writer is anonymous. That's another trend as well. Yeah. All right. So the letter reads, what other color can I use? I'm just going to say pigmentation. It is very hard for us to work together. Nobody wants to be told what to do. Everybody wants to be the boss, or people want to have input, or people want to make an announcement or suggest something that they have no experience in that particular area. You build something up, everything's going great. Then those people want to tear it down. You start to go back into their history and you find out that no one's done anything or been a part of anything where they completed something. If you look at their life, up until this point, it's a lot of half-ass going on. Didn't complete this, didn't complete that, didn't complete this. Start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. So when someone comes along who is organized, they shut up, hijack the success. They jump on board in the beginning because this is their opportunity to be a part of something that's organized, but they really can't stand it. Every adjective you could describe this person has been. I'm trying not to go off on a tangent, but anyone on the podcast experienced the same thing?
Wow.
And they stopped right there. They could even close the letter out. They were so mad.
Dang, what do you think about this letter, Montana?
I think that...
Have you ever experienced something like this before?
I've experienced where you have nobody wants to be an Indian, everybody wants to be a chief.
Wow.
You know, I've been in organizations where you have a lot of strong and powerful people, type A personalities. And I think, you know, people that are used to being the boss, used to being number one, used to being the leader. And when you have a room full of leaders, somebody got to lead. But the thing is, I think people fail to understand, even if you are in a position where you may have a number one and a number two, you can still lead in the role that you are in.
Right.
And sometimes I think people have to understand it's okay to, you know, fall in the background. Like, it's okay to be on the production side. I ain't always got to be on this side of the mic.
All the time.
So I definitely feel like I've experienced that, like, overall in settings, but I'm not a person where that bothers me. Like, I know if it's something I really want to take on, I want to be number one, and I'm going to finish it. I'm not going to have
So you know how to step back.
Yeah, but I do know how to step back. And I think as I get older and more seasoned, sometimes I enjoy stepping back. I enjoy, because what I learned, I enjoy delegating tasks too. So it's like, even if it's my project, let's all stack hands. Right. Everybody can equally do something. And then in the end, we can all get credit, because I'm also not that person. Like, I never want to take credit for somebody else's work because I don't want them to do it to me.
Right.
So I feel like both sides of the coin, but I'm at this point, I don't care who did we get it done? Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Are we gonna get our check on the 15th and 30th? Yes. So, you know, I don't
see you
need
at the
that.
Christmas party.
See you at the Christmas party. Yeah.
Right. What'd you think about this
I'm
letter?
riding with Shaana right there, 100. That's how you live. But yeah, that's what it is, man. You know, sometimes people in life just, like she said, you got a bunch of CEOs in a room.
Right.
It's gonna be hard for one of them to take a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But sometimes you got somebody got to lead and the rest got to follow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got to be in charge. But you know, it's a difficult and a very thin balance. You have to try to manipulate and your way through in life, man. And that just don't go with boardrooms. Right. It's life in general. It even goes down to relationships.
Yeah.
You know.
Double
people,
down on that.
Yeah. You know, people. You know, who's gonna be in charge here? Mm-hmm. Who's gonna run the show? And you know, and it's egos that gets in the way a lot of the time in life, man. And we got to learn how to step back and play our role, so to speak. You know, and people have failed to realize where they're strong at and where they're weak at. Mm-hmm. You're not strong in every area,
right,
in your life. Some areas you need some help. You need some guidance. You need somebody to help you navigate.
Right.
But you know, you got people with, like I said, the egos, man, gets in the way a lot of time with people, man, and that's when all things go awry.
Well, on that note, let me ask you a personal question. How can I put this without being too messy?
Go ahead.
Y'all know where I'm going with this, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah, y'all do.
I don't.
Well, we'll
go
find
ahead.
out
Right in a second.
Don't tell me about a relationship.
No.
Okay, all right, okay.
No. So y'all two professionals, right? Mm-hmm. And y'all have worked with different groups of people in your career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you find it a little bit difficult to work with our race of people when it comes to power and leadership?
No. I'm gonna give a hard no. And let me say that. Because, okay, and I only can speak from my personal experience. I'm not gonna stereotype the world, because I'll tell you this, at a certain job I worked at, I had another woman of my race, and I'm black, if anybody assuming anything else.
I thought you were Puerto Rican.
Okay, you can I might have told somebody that, depending on what flavor they wanted, you know. But I had another black woman approach me and ask, she said, do you feel like all the black women we hire like give you a hard time? Ooh. And we had to have a real reality check type moment where I told her, number one, no, I don't encounter that. But what we got around to was, it is not the black women that we hire. It is you and your attitude towards everyone. Wow. I said, because if you look around the room, yes, you've had negative experiences with black women, but you've also had them with black men, with white women. You've had a bad experience with everybody.
Because your attitude.
Yeah, it's you and your lack of professionalism, and I can go on and on.
Right.
So she was a person that I think if I had hopped on that bandwagon and been like, yeah, girl, she was looking for an ally in that moment. That's why she came to me.
Right.
And I was like, I'm gonna give it to you 100. If I had felt that way, I would have communicated that. Right. But I've been in situations, I would say, when I first started leadership in my company, I was typically one of very few black people in the room, but typically only black woman.
Right.
As I've got going further up, it is more of us in the room, but I don't experience that. I think that I always tell people, and some people don't like this when they say you code switch. It's like if you and I are sitting here talking and I'm talking to my girl, yeah, girl, hey sis, da-da-da. When I step into corporate America, I know how to speak professionally. I know how to speak according to the room that I am in.
Right.
I'm not gonna be calling my boss sis. Like that just don't work. So I think, or bruh, like you just don't do that. But it's the same as if a child is talking to their parent, they don't talk the same way they talk to their friends. You talk according to who you're interacting with in your audience.
In church, you would.
Exactly, according to your audience, who you're interacting with. So I always tell people at the end of the day, if you walk into for me, when I walk into any room, I'm always a professional. I am always going to know the assignment. So I really do not encounter that because I know if I'm hiring any leadership and they happen to be black, or if I have anybody around me that if I need to give them a nudge about what it needs to look like when you're in the room, I'm going to do that. So I don't encounter that a lot because I don't play the radio with people about that. It's a lot of folks that give us enough stereotypes. Don't give them an opportunity to continue, that trajectory and putting that on us.
Right. Oh, well said. Well said. Now, the next 5 shows that we're going to have to close out this season, and the topic is going to be about power. Different forms of power.
Okay.
Right? Now, although governments do hold power over countries' economies, it is the big bank and large corporations that control and essentially fund these governments. This means that the global economy is dominated by large financial institutions.
Of course.
All right. Check this out, y'all. The United States, some call it the U.S., is the largest shareholder of the World Bank with 17.25% of its capital shares. That's a lot. We're talking about all the money in the world, right? Every World Bank president since its inception has been a United States citizen.
I find that hard to believe.
Me too.
Now, in the past, violence was the quickest route to establish dominance. But today, people gain influence by advancing the welfare of others. Power is defined as the ability of an individual or group to fulfill its desires and implement its decisions and ideas. Now, it involves the ability to influence as well as control the behaviors of others, even against their will. Now, let's look at the top 3 most powerful families in the world when we talk about power. The Rothschild family. The Rothschild family was in regard as the most influential in the world, offers financial advising services in more than 40 nations. Now, Mayer Rothschild has governed the globe for several centuries in vast assets, huge influence, and great power since the creation of the bank empire during the 18th century. He sent his sons across Europe to establish regional banking branches that were linked across the borders. This was the world's first international bank. If you ever heard of the phrase international banking? And the Rothschild banks profited off giving governments loans to go to what? War for centuries. All right. Now, the Rothschilds have amassed a fortune and left strict instructions in their will. Some of us don't have wills when we pass, or, that give titles and properties only pass through male heirs. The empire spread across Europe and grew. Now, as the family grew, so does its wealth. Today, Rothschild Holdings spreads a wide range of industries and employ most family members. It has an investment in gold, real estate, wine, and energy. Now, the Rothschild family has been in the winemaking industry for 160 years. Today, the Rothschild family owns many wine estates in France, Italy, South America, South Africa, and Australia. Number 2, the Windsor family. According to Brand Finance, a market analyst company, the British royal family was valued at $95 billion in 2017. All right. Now, first, there is the sovereign grant. Essentially, the British people give the royal family 20% of their money made from their properties. That's a lot of money.
That is.
Now, the whole business depends on the royal's public persona. The more the people like the royal family, the more tourism dollars comes into the British economy and into the monarchy's 25% cut. Okay. In 2019, the cut was more than $107 million. And lastly, there's what is called the privy purse, which is made up of personal property, homes, art, and other items, including items passed down from the previous kings and queens. Charles himself owns 600 original Da Vinci drawings.
Wow,
all right.
That's a lot of money there.
One more, y'all. One more. Yeah. The House of Saud. Now, the Saudi royal family is known as the House of Saud. They have total authority even after them. The country has been referred to as Saudi Arabia. Okay? There are 15,000 members, and 2,000 of them control the majority of the riches and power. They have unfathomable wealth since they are the king of an oil-rich nation and the head of the family. The vast oil resources that were found in Saudi Arabia 75 years ago, which revolutionized the nation's economy and made the House of Saud the richest family in the world, are the main sources of income for the Saudi monarchy. Now, Saudi Arabia has proven reserves equivalent to 221 times its annual consumption. This means that without net exports, there would be about 221 years of oil left at current consumption and including proven reserves. So we need them electric cars, right?
Yeah.
Now, the Saudi royal family has a net worth of 1.4 trillion, which is 16 times more than that of the British royal family. 16 times more. The ruling monarchy draws most of its income from the vast oil reserves that they founded 75 years ago, changing the country's fortune and making the House of Saud the richest family on earth. Now, according to the House of Saud, the wealth of 1.4 trillion belongs to nearly 15,000 royal family members. Now, Uncle Rico, Shaana Montana. Out of the three families, the Rothschilds, the Windsor Group, Britain, House of Saud, which one would you want to be born into?
None.
You gotta pick one.
The Windsor Group.
Which is England.
Yeah.
Which one would you
like
want
the British
out of those three?
I'm taking the Saud.
The Saud? So, you Saudi and you British royalty.
English.
Okay, now that you have made your choice, let's uncover the history of the power and see if you're still
Lord.
I think they're both all ugly.
Yeah. It's about to go left.
No, because you don't get to that kind of power without doing a lot of dirt.
Baby,
Ooh,
say
we're about
that.
to find out the dirt.
Well,
Okay.
I know it's there.
So let's start with Montana with the royal family. Now, the royal family made its fortune from slave trade and hair weave. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? Canceled again.
Okay, sorry, y'all. Now, the slave trade was pioneered under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. She allowed John Hawkins to kidnap slaves from Africa and sell them in the Caribbean. The profits were tremendous. The fortune made from this human misery directly benefit the Windsor family, Montana. Take a listen to this.
In the headlines for stretching the truth again. Also, tonight on the show, the Pope is Catholic and bears do defecate in the woods from where it's pumped directly onto Britain's beaches. Ba-boom. Yes, Meg's at it again. She's regaled the listener to her new podcast with the terrifying story of how son Archie narrowly escaped a fire in his bedroom on a royal tour of South Africa.
The heater in the nursery caught on fire. Everyone's in tears. Everyone's shaken. And what did we have to do? Go out and do another official engagement.
Despite being shaken and in tears, she and Harry bravely, and I mean bravely, resumed their duties. But it turns out that Archie wasn't even in the room when it happened, and royal sources today told the press that they don't even recall any fire at all, merely an overheating heater. You try saying that. Now, this isn't the first time Meghan's faced claims that a truth isn't necessarily the truth. Our investigative unit and a top team of data journalists have produced this forensic visualization of Meghan's fibs. She famously told Oprah she married Prince Harry intimately and in secret days before their televised bash in Windsor. The Archbishop of Canterbury said, "Oh no, she didn't." Meghan claims the royal family took away her passport, leaving her a princess trapped in a tower. But investigation by her own The Sun found she took at least 13 foreign holidays during the period in which she was apparently grounded. Meghan also claimed a member of the royal household expressed concerns about the colour of her unborn child's skin while she was pregnant. But she's never been able to say who it was. And she says she barely knew anything about the royal family. The nose can't get any bigger.
So, the House of Saud.
Let me hear it.
No country restricts the movement of its female population more than Saudi Arabia.
I already know
Is that why you picked them up?
No, it ain't why I picked them. They had the most money.
Okay.
I picked because they had the most money.
Well, this is these problems. Yeah. Now, women cannot apply for a passport or travel outside the country without their male guardian's approval.
I already knew that.
A woman who goes against her guardian wishes can be arrested on charges of disobedience.
Oh, yeah.
Saudi women do not need their guardian approval to get a driver's license, but they do need permission to marry, enroll in school and university, and apply for a passport. Damn.
Isn't that crazy?
There go Hot Girl Summer. So lastly, the Rothschild, which nobody picked. Newly uncovered documents revealed that the Financial Times of London for the first time show that Rothschilds made personal gains by using slaves as collateral and banking dealings with slave owners. Thank you for tuning into the DONESON podcast.
The DONESON, it's a DONESON podcast.